Catherine Murphy wasn't a pamphlet-writing revolutionary or a famous firebrand. She was, by every surviving scrap, a backroom coiner. She and her husband, Hugh, stamped fake halfpennies and shillings in their cramped Holborn House small coins. Big trouble. In 1789, counterfeiting wasn't some petty hustle. It was high treason. The Bank of England was only 100 years old. Coins were scarcer than bread in a siege, and every fake coin chipped away at trust in the whole system. Parliament called it an assault upon the Crown itself, so the penalty rose to meet the panic. Before the raid, we know almost nothing. Irish immigrant, likely, mother of two, probably. The coins survived, her life didn't. On a cold January morning, officers burst into Red Lion Street, found the dies, the metal, stacks of shiny fakes still warm. Catherine, Hugh, and 7 other men were marched off to Newgate to cool their heels briefly. 18th century justice moved fast. Blink and you'd miss it. On the 10th of February 1789, the Old Bailey was packed shoulder to linen-covered shoulder. The charge, high treason by coining. The evidence, the seized dies, to marked coins in Catherine's pocket, and a neighbour happy to swear she'd seen molten metal poured into malts. The law was blunt: counterfeit equals treason. Women convicted of treason burn. The rule came from the charming idea that drawing and quartering was too indecent for a woman's body. So while Hugh and the 7 other men faced the gallows, Catherine alone faced the stake. The jury needed 12 minutes to sign off on a death that had been rehearsed for centuries. Burning wasn't random cruelty. It was theatre with a very old script. From the 13th century onward, English law used fire to scrub sin from the soul and terror into the crowd. Heretics, witches, wives who murdered their husbands, petty treason, all died this way. By the 1700s, however, the spectacle had become a civic headache. The stench drifted for days. Shopkeepers slammed shutters. Newspapers tut-tutted about barbarous relics and fit for enlightened times. Still, the statute books insisted, female traitors burn. Catherine's fate was inked centuries before her birth. Enter Sir Benjamin Hammett, Sheriff of London, and quiet reformer with a stomach weaker than the law. He'd watched too many burnings and decided they were obscene. When Catherine's warrant landed on his desk, he faced an impossible choice: obey the letter or bend toward mercy. He chose both. On the morning of execution, he ordered the hangman to rig a short drop gallows beside the stake. The plan: strap Catherine to the stake for show, then yank a lever so a rope would snap her neck before the fire had its say. Still public, still awful, but faster. Later Hammett wrote, he acted to spare the city the horror of a woman roasted alive. That single act, half cruelty, half kindness, marked the beginning of the end for burning in Britain. At 7 sharp the prisoners shuffled from their cells. 5,000 Londoners had paid a shilling apiece for a good view. The men Hugh and the 7 others hung first, quick drops, necks cracking like sticks, then Catherine. She wore a clean white gown, hair cropped short, hands loosely bound so she could grip a small prayer book. A chaplain murmured psalms while carpenters hammered the stake. A single rope looped her chest to the post. At the sheriff's nod, the hangman jerked the lever, the platform dropped, and Catherine's body sagged. 30 minutes later, the flames were lit beneath her dangling feet. By law the fire touched a corpse. By custom, the crowd still gasped. When the smoke cleared, the sheriff declared the sentence complete. London exhaled. If this sounds like a scene from some grim fantasy novel, tap like and think about subscribing. Next week, we'll look at how Britain went from burning women to banning the death penalty entirely. Ring the bell so you don't miss it. Catherine's death ignited more than wood and straw, it lit public outrage. Papers called the scene a medieval pageant unworthy of a civilized empire. Within a year Parliament debated the Treason Act of 1790. Speeches echoed Hammett's quiet protest: we cannot preach enlightenment and practice ashes. The act passed without drama. Women convicted of treason would henceforth hang, just like men. Burning vanished from English law, not with a trumpet blast, but with a shrug, to smelly, to savage, to embarrassing. Catherine Murphy, accidental catalyst, died for fake coins and accidentally drew the line between medieval punishments and modern sensibility. No plaque marks the spot at Newgate, yet the date, the 18th of March, 1789, still smoulders in memory. Next time you drop a coin into a vending machine, spare a thought for Catherine Murphy. She died because fake money once scared a kingdom. She burned because centuries of law said women must. And she was the last because London decided the smoke no longer fit its skyline. Was justice served? Was the punishment fair? Drop a comment, I read everyone. And if you want more stories where history takes a sharp turn, subscribe. See you in the next video.